Welcome to Pound for Pound, the MMA podcast. And now, coming to the mic, your host, Jalen Walker.
Welcome to Pound for Pound, the MMA podcast. I'm your host, Jalen Walker. We have a lot to unpack today, as always. Insane fight card tomorrow, Khabib versus Gaethje. We're also going to talk about that amazing fight between Brian Ortega versus the Korean Zombie. Some news coming out of the UFC. They're thinking about pulling Leon Edwards from the rankings for inactivity. We're going to break it all down and much, much more. But first, my guest on the show today fights at a Ground Control Academy. He recently competed on Week 5 of Dana White's Contender Series, where he defeated Chase Gibson via unanimous decision. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the podcast Tucker Lutz. Hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? Thanks for having me.
Of course. Looking forward to talking with you. I got some questions. Just wanna talk about you and your MMA career so far.
Sounds good, bro.
Awesome. So you're fighting at a Ground Control Academy. Is that in Maryland?
Yeah. We got 3 locations in Maryland. We got one, Rosedale, Baltimore area, Columbia, Maryland, and then I'm mostly at our Owings Mills location.
Okay, and that's your gym. That's what you run that gym, correct?
No, I don't run it, but hopefully one day I'll have a stake in it.
I like
That's
that.
the plan.
Nice. I like that. Who else do you have fighting out of Ground Control? Any known names or anybody on the rise you want to mention?
So there's a lot of guys kind of like me who I think are flying under the radar, but my boy Skylar Sudo, he actually fights Bellator,
Okay.
the Connecticut card. I think it's like the Thursday. I'm fighting November 17th, so I think he's the Thursday before I am.
Okay, yeah, because Bellator's been doing their stuff on Thursday.
Yep, so he's having his Bellator debut, Skylar Sudo, mostly 45, or really only 45, but he's cutting down to 35 for this fight. So,
Nice.
but I think my gym, we got a gym full of killers, so I think we'll be blowing up the scene within the next year or less, really.
Nice. Make that gym known and put the name on the map. I like it. What's the gym atmosphere like out there?
At our way, man, I mean, it's pretty laid back, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty much my second family, you know, but as far as more specifically the fight team, we've really morphed over the last maybe year, 18 months to where we're getting kind of guys coming in from other local gyms that are more so, I don't want to say that we're stealing guys because they're still kind of doing their disciplines, but as far as sparring and all that, we're getting a lot of local guys from the Baltimore, from the DMV area. So our fight team's been going real strong this last year, even amidst the COVID crisis, which is good.
Nice. Yeah, I was gonna get into that a little bit later about COVID and training. So I also heard that you trained at Team Alpha Male with Hall of Famer Uriah Faber for a little bit.
Yeah, I have. I've been out there 2 separate occasions.
Are you friends with Uriah or anybody out there? Is there a reason you were training out there for a little bit?
I grew up a huge Faber fan. Like when I got into the sport as a fan, like it was in the heat of the WEC days. So I'd always wanted to go out there and train. I wouldn't say I'm a fan or a friend rather, but yeah, they have like the Train with Tam program. So I just hit up the dude who ran that, and I went out there a couple times. But it's a great gym, man. They got a beautiful facility, really welcoming environment. So it was an awesome time whenever I went out there.
Yeah, it's a great organization, gym. They got some heavy hitters at that gym, definitely, and a lot of Hall of Famers.
Hell yeah, bro. There's no shortage of talent over there. That's
Not
for sure.
at all. Not at all. So I wanted to ask you, your nickname is Top Gun. Where does that originate from? Are you a Tom Cruise fan?
Nah, hell no. I've actually never seen that movie. Never seen that movie. So it's I don't know. Did you ever watch the show Workaholics on Comedy Central?
Yeah, I love Workaholics.
Yeah, so it's like it's from that episode, or it's an episode of that show. And I don't know. I was just at work one day with my older brother Joey, and it was like I think it was after maybe my second or third amateur fight way back when, and we were just talking about that episode. And he was like, you know what, man, Top Gun actually has a good ring for you. And I was like, fuck it, and went with it. So now I'm like, out of principle, I'm never gonna watch that Tom Cruise movie.
Oh, yeah. That's honestly hilarious though, because I thought it was gonna be like, oh, he loves Top Gun or something, Tom Cruise fan. No workaholics. Was there any
Exactly.
other nicknames in the pool at the time? Did you have any other ideas?
No,
That was
I
it?
was against the nickname, honestly.
Really?
But like, yeah, I was against it. But I was like, you know what? That does actually have a pretty decent ring to it, and that episode was hilarious. So I was like, fuck it, we'll go with it.
I mean, I respect it. I respect it. It's a good nickname. So you have a solid pro record at 10-1. You got 6 KOs, 2 submissions, 2 decisions, and you're on a current 10-fight win streak. That has to feel good, especially with your last win coming out of Contender Series with Dana White. What's been working for you to keep this streak going?
Just really staying hungry, man. Staying focused. Like, sometimes I even forget what my record is. After each fight, I'm kind of, as cliche as it sounds, I go to that clean slate 0-0 shit. Keeps me humble. But I think just I've seen a lot of guys come up through the sport and it's just grind after grind, and they're working hard. But I think what separates me from a lot of guys is the evolution. You know what I'm saying? Is the perpetual growth, or at least chasing the perpetual growth.
I feel that.
So I feel like it's always been an emphasis on mine from camp to camp, and even in between camps, which I think is where you do most of your growth, because when you're in that 6 to 8 week camp, you're kind of hyper focused on one test, but just working on some shit that you've been neglecting, and that's kind of the never ending ladder of mixed martial arts, which is the beautiful part, in my opinion, of it.
Nice. I completely understand that. So we just talked about your pro record, but not to mention, when you were an amateur, you also went 8-0. Is that correct? Those are the fights I could find. You went 8-0 as an amateur? Okay. You won 2 titles as an amateur. What were those titles? Do you remember?
One was out Delaware, because Maryland, where I'm from, they have whack rules for amateurs. Like if you took someone down, you couldn't ground and pound them to the face. So we went out Delaware, and
I didn't know that.
I won a lightweight title there, and then Virginia, which they gave no fucks. Like, you didn't even have to take blood work or anything. They had full rules, knees to the face and elbows.
Could you need people when they're on the ground?
No.
Okay. Like, I didn't know if it was like fully going for it.
No, that'd be pretty dope though. But so like in the Delaware one, we had to wear the shin guards, and you couldn't elbow to the head and you couldn't knee to the head. But Virginia, it was like full pro rules. They didn't even make you do a physical, so you could go in there with hepatitis or whatever. No one would know about it. They've changed that since.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, which
for
is
the fighter's safety, you don't want anybody come in there with some diseases and get split open. Next thing you know, that another fighter had to get tested. That sucks.
Yeah, bro, and they let anyone fight.
Really?
I'll never forget. I was on. It was my first fight for the promotion, and this dude rolls in with straight basketball shorts on, pockets on. You could tell he'd never.
Wait, he fought in
training.
Basketball shorts with pockets?
Yeah, I'm surprised.
You're
because
lying.
They even
You're
checked
lying.
us for pockets, and I was like, they're gonna have to get that man some new shorts. But he got pieced up in the first round. It was bad. But
he had pockets.
God bless, man.
It's not even that it's just basketball shorts. It's the fact that he actually had pockets and was allowed to fight with pockets. It just seems like such a disadvantage to him. You know what I mean? Just to be able to. Odd.
Yeah, bro. This shit's crazy. I'm surprised it went down.
But he got knocked out, though?
I think he was ground and pound, but it was ugly. It was within like a minute and a half.
Nice.
It was bad.
How did your fights go for that night? Were they
amateur? That fight, I think I won by decision. It was my first fight down at 45, and I got way too bloated up afterwards just because I went ham on the rehydration. I felt awful, but yeah, it was a sloppy ass decision. But
yeah, you just filled your body up with just a lot of liquid after the weigh-in or something like that.
Like way too much, bro. Yeah. Way too much.
I feel that. So I know you fight at lightweight right now. What's your go-to weight? What do you feel most comfortable at?
So I've been feeling fresh at lightweight. I've had, I think, my last 3 or 4. I feel good at 55, but realistically, once I start climbing up, those motherfuckers get big up lightweight. So I'll probably go down 45 once I get this contract. But I feel really good at 55. So I don't know. It's one of those things that I got fast hands, and I've been getting finishes at 55, so my power is still there. So I don't know. I'm gonna definitely take into consideration, but I think 45 will be the way to go after I get this contract.
Are you gonna be lightweight for Contender Series?
Yeah, this fight's at 155. Okay. Same with my last one.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that fight here in a second. So most of your fights have come out of Shogun Fights, the East Coast premier MMA organization. What was it like fighting for Shogun Fights? And I believe the owner is John Rallo. Is that correct?
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
Yep. He's a buddy of mine. He owns Ground Control Rosedale.
Okay.
But
Awesome.
it was a great experience because it's super high production in
Mhm.
there. So it's like because there was a couple fights that I was supposed to fight professionally that were in different promotions, and they both fell out like the day and the day before, which
Mhm.
didn't even come close. But I mean, as far as cameras on the face, they had Sheffield Studios here in Baltimore, which is a local production company. They got the big screen out at Royal Farms Arena down Baltimore City. So it was nice kind of being indoctrinated with that big, the big scene. Sorry, I just got a call.
There you
But
go.
with the big scene, and yeah, it was. I think it was a good way to ease me into the big show. We only had probably, I wouldn't say only for local shows. There's about 5,000-6,000 people there
It's not bad.
at it. No, especially for regional shows. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a great promotion, and hopefully once all this COVID nonsense passes, it'll be up and running soon.
Yeah. Yeah. COVID unfortunately has put a halt on a lot of organizations, and I hope a lot of these organizations can rebuild from them, and they don't go ahead and crumble like some of these companies. I mean, you got AMC, a movie theater. You know what I mean? They're about to go bankrupt. Like that's huge. So I do hope a lot of these smaller organizations and bigger organizations can come back and keep providing fights for these lesser known fighters. So I hope the best for them. Um,
I agree, man.
so in your pro debut, I have to bring this up. You lost TKO to Alvin Mercer in the third round. What happened during that fight? That's your only loss, correct?
Yep.
So
Yeah. So uh, that was a phew, that's a less hard earned lesson, but I'm glad I wouldn't change a damn thing. So I was successful as an amateur, 8-0 MMA. I was actually did some kickboxing fights. I won a national title. And coming into that, like, not to make excuses, but I got a fucking giant head and thought I was the shit. And it was just not a very like there's times during that camp I was training like 4 days a week and
hmm
didn't take the weight cut seriously. Like the day of weigh-ins, I had to cut. It was 9.8 pounds in like
Jeez.
6 hours, and I made the weight, and he actually missed it,
Nice.
which was annoying because I actually
Wow.
was like, man, you think he'd be down for a catch weight? And my coach was like, no, but I guarantee it would have been. But now,
Damn.
man, I just one of those things. I think I won the first round. Second round was close, and then third round I just had nothing left in me, and yeah, he won standing TKO. I thought that my hands were up, and but that's not the case at all. When I went back and watched it, he was just piecing my ass up. I was up, he didn't drop me or anything, but the ref
Yeah,
stepped in.
he just stepped in.
I thought it was premature, but like in hindsight, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
It was a great lesson nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, it must have been a good lesson. You haven't lost since. You've been on a roll, man.
Yeah, bro, nothing like a good old fashioned ass whooping to humble you out.
I feel it. Right after that fight, you bounced back immediately and defeated Irving Nicholas with an impressive Darce choke in the first round. I can feel. I think you wanted to come out in that fight and just turn it completely around. What I'm taking.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. This was almost 5 years ago. I think. Yeah, so I just threw overhand right or no left hook and it kind of clipped him and he went for a
hmm
desperate shot and I got a really good guillotine. I don't. It says Darce, but it was
It was
actually
a
a guillotine
guillotine.
choke that I got him with.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a guillotine.
Okay.
And and I think and my takedown defense is one of my best attributes. So I just like stuffed his shot
Yeah.
and he gave me the
Just got him right
modified
in there.
guillotine like right off the bat.
And that was
So
in the
that was
first round, so he must
not
have
a bad
been
day in the office, man.
he must
Not a
have
bad
been
day in the
rocked or
office.
gassed or something. It was I think there was like 10 seconds left in the first round or something. Or was it
No, that one was like 20 something seconds into the
Oh, it was
fight, I
20
think.
seconds in, so I read it backwards. Okay, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Nice, dude. Hell yeah.
yeah.
That must have been fun.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, it was so long ago. I don't really remember, but I remember being relieved. Like getting that first pro win was
Yeah,
important to me.
especially within 30 seconds with the
Yeah,
being
that
in
was.
submission.
I
That's not
wish
an
every
easy thing
fight
to
could go
do.
like that. It would be ideal.
I bet you do wish every fight could go like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do it, man. You're very talented for what I've seen from all the highlights I've seen from you, and when I watched you on Contender Series. So So I think you have the potential. Just keep pushing at it, man. Go for those submissions. I mean, some people think submissions and groundwork is just boring, but people like me and actual MMA fans, we love it. We love seeing that ground game, that jiu-jitsu. It's very entertaining. It's very, very entertaining.
Yeah, and it's a big part of my game. And honestly, I grew up wrestling, and that whole camp for the last fight, where because I've seen guys in the past get penalized on Contender for using their grappling. So I was like, I'm not gonna incorporate it at all. But who knows? I feel like I kind of limited myself by not using my wrestling. So
yeah, and that's the one thing I've been getting upset with Contender Series. And I've had some of the guys on. It's just I 100% trust Dana. I think Dana is a great mind, but I think he makes some bad calls sometimes. I think he's punishing kids and fighters that are doing their job and making sure they get the dub to secure that title or to secure that win to get that contract, and they're not pushing themselves because they don't want to get that fluke knockout from the other side. Like Sherrod Blackledge, who you're actually fighting. We had him on the show 2 weeks ago, and he was saying it. He was like, yeah, I won the first 2 rounds, and then the third round, I just didn't want to run out and get knocked out. I wanted to play it safe, and he played the safe game, and it didn't work out for him in the end. And I think that needs to change because, for instances like you, him, Michael Lombardo, you guys all had great fights, and you played it smart. You know what I mean? And I mean, you want a unanimous draw or a unanimous decision. So, in my eyes, it seems like, hey, even though you didn't get a clean TKO knockout or something, I think you still deserved a chance. But I think he sees that, and I think that's why he's bringing you guys back. And I hope some things change in that sense because it's really unfortunate. It really is.
Right. It's one of the I've been saying it's like the only, I think, mixed martial arts events you kind of get penalized for fighting a high IQ fight, So
yeah,
it is what it is. I was just glad to be invited back, really.
For sure. And we're excited to see you. I'm definitely excited to see that fight. But we'll get into that here in a second. But before we move on, I heard you played viola growing up. I was also in a high school band. But a lot of people don't know this, that musicians are actually very intelligent people. Like learning sheet music and learning another skill like that to learn something differently in your brain opens up possibilities for your brain to work differently. And a lot of people don't know that, but musicians are very intelligent, and I was very surprised to hear that from you. And you also play guitar to this day, correct?
Yeah. I'm honestly a better guitar player than I ever was
Viola?
viola.
That was just like a school thing?
I agree. I can read viola music, but I can't read sheet music as far as guitar goes.
Can you read
it
tabs?
always bored me too much. Yeah, I can read tab,
Okay, nice.
obviously.
Yeah,
but,
when I played, I used to only read tabs. I never actually learned guitar sheet music.
No, that's the only way to do it. It's the more efficient way to do it. Unless you're
just so
doing
quick.
Theory and all that. But that's above my
music
pay grade,
theory is
for
actually
sure.
fun. I took it in college. I actually had a great time with that class. Very interesting.
Nice.
Very interesting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but what's your go-to jam for guitar?
Yeah, so when I do play, I try to link up with some homies now and again, and it's all I got kind of a bluesy, jazzy bass, just because when I was taking guitar lessons back in the day, I had a guitar teacher who was Berkeley trained and
oh wow, nice.
Had a real jazz bass, and I like I don't listen to a lot of jazz, but when I'm jamming around, I love the sound of it on a guitar. But I don't play nearly as much as I'd like to these days, just because I'm busy training and doing other shit. But yeah, it's fun to pick around on it. That'll be a lifetime hobby of mine for sure.
Nice, man. Yeah, I gave up on guitar and I used to play drums. I haven't picked up an instrument. I don't know how long, 2, 3, 4 years, but I got to get back into that. What kind of guitar do you have?
Keeps you sharp, man.
Yeah, what kind of guitar do you have?
I have an '89 American Fender Stratocaster.
Oh, nice. I have the half guard Telecaster, the butterscotch.
Nice,
Fender.
man. That's an awesome guitar.
Yeah. It's like the one that Billy Joel uses or whatever. It was like the replica edition or whatever. My grandpa got it for me a long time ago. But yeah, it's a nice guitar. I got to get back into it. So you're a Baltimore Ravens fan. I'm a Bengals fan, Cincinnati, Ohio. Yeah.
Damn, sorry to hear that, man.
Shut up, man. Yeah, it's not going too well for us, but we can turn around. Do you got faith in the Ravens going all the way this year? Lamar Jackson
Ooh,
taking them?
I say yeah every year. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
You guys had a great run
but
last year.
yeah, it's just blind loyalty. And honestly, I haven't been keeping up with football much this year.
It's been
Really, the
so
last few
difficult.
years, I used to be like die hard into it, but I don't
Yeah.
know. For whatever reason, the older I get, the less sports I watch in general. I don't know why, but but no, I'll watch the Ravens for sure. But I say every year we're going to the Super Bowl, and I've been wrong most years, so I'm just gonna
You were
keep
almost right
it
last year.
going. I know, man, that was a heartbreaker.
I mean, it was a good game they had, but I mean, Lamar Jackson's a freak. I don't think he's gonna go anywhere. I think you guys are gonna have him for the long run. So you guys should be
Yeah,
set.
he's gonna. They're gonna have to pay him though. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah,
Because
they're definitely gonna have to pay him. But the thing
I think
is,
his rookie contract is up this year, so he
yeah,
should be monetizing heavily if all goes well.
I think he's gonna probably almost get the same amount of money as Patrick Mahomes, which is gonna be absurd.
God bless him.
Jesus, so much money, but they deserve it. It's like a 10-year contract he has or something like that, so it's overtime. But man, they're making some money. They're making some big money, some big
Yeah,
money.
I can't relate at this moment, but soon enough.
I can't either, man. I can't
Yeah.
either. So yeah, let's go ahead and transition to that. I know you have a full-time job as well as being a pro MMA fighter. Are you working part-time? Or are you taking a leave of absence right now to prepare for your fight?
Yeah, I'm on leave of absence, which has been great. So this has been the first fight in my career that I've been. I had the last 4 weeks off the last camp leave of absence, but this has been the first time that I've been solely focusing on the training. And it's been great, man. And I've been really fortunate to have some sponsors support me as well, and living off the last fight purse too. So life has been going good, man. Just been living the dream. It's
That-
been awesome.
That's awesome. I'm glad you get to take time to train and focus on that to get your mind right for this big opportunity coming up. So this has been a crazy upside down put the standing on your head type of year. You know what I mean? How has the pandemic affected your training, especially going into your last Contender Series fight and going into this Contender Series fight?
Yeah. So in Maryland, we were shut down. I'm gonna say the gym was shut down for like at least 2 months because
Okay.
Shogun was supposed to have a card in April that I had three teammates on, and we were in camp for that. And I think it was like end of Marchish that we had to stop, maybe mid March. And then my gym had actually just opened up when I got a call saying that I was in the pool for Contender Series. So it was like good timing, but man, I was super fat and out of shape because I wasn't super. I was honestly digging quarantine, man. I was about to say fuck fighting, It was like coming home, getting
Just play
to
your
my wife and I.
guitar.
We bought a house a few years back and we've done a bunch of work to it, but it's like during between working and training, I have no time to enjoy it. So I was like, you know what, man, life is good. But then my manager hit me up and it was like, hey man, like they're interested in you, so
Get in
got back
shape.
into shape. But not a whole lot has changed as far as training. I'm definitely paranoid of who I work with. Just I've been working pretty much with like the same group of like maybe 10 guys between all disciplines for the last really since June.
Mhm.
So our gym in general is real smart. We got limited class size, so you have to like go on an app and register for class, and the sanitation's been I don't want to say overkill, but it's been excessive for sure.
Nice.
But and luckily, a lot of my teammates have been responsible with not going out to bars and partying like assholes, so it's been not too much has changed, but it definitely makes me nervous because there's a lot of asymptomatic people out there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just look at Ion Cutabella. He's out for the
Hmm.
fight card tomorrow. I don't
No,
know.
again, he is.
Yes, apparent. So we don't know officially, but apparently his quarterman has corona, and he was just
Oh no.
touching him. So they basically they're bringing up the because UFC they brought backup fighters to Abu Dhabi for every fight, so they're already told the person, hey, get ready, we're gonna weigh you in just in case. But it's not looking good.
Oh no, because he got pulled from COVID like
Yep,
last month or so,
yep,
right?
yep. Man, it's not
That's
him,
a
it's his
fucking
team.
bummer, man.
He got to get his team in line, man. It can't be pulling these shenanigans and whatever they're doing. It keeps finding him somehow. And I do hope that he doesn't have it and only his cornerman does. But if him and his corner man were in the same room, all those guys are probably it's over with. It's over with.
And that fight needs to happen. That was the worst stoppage, I think,
Yep.
in mixed martial arts history, man.
Yeah, it was. I really want to see.
That was awful.
I wanted to see him fight, but I mean, I honestly thought they would just cut it and not do a replacement fighter because there are 6 fights on the main card. But apparently they want to keep it going. They're going to replace it. They're going to replace him if it does come down to it. But
I hope he gets paid at least.
yeah, that's the one thing I was wondering if like people that have COVID at least. I mean, you're taking time. You're flying 18 hours out there. Like you got to get paid.
At
You
least
showed
some
up.
show or a
You
piece
were
of it or something.
Something, even if it's 30%, something. Just hey, I
Yeah.
was here. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, it's been a crazy year, and I hope the best for him. And I really do want that fight. I really do.
Yeah, I think it's a great scrap.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and go into your fight on Contender Series. You defeated Chase Gibson via unanimous decision on week 5 of Contender Series. How did you feel going into that fight?
Oh, I felt real good. I had a really strong camp. I was supposed to fight another dude who pulled out, I think, 10 days beforehand.
Oh, I didn't know that.
What's that?
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, I was supposed to fight a guy out of Texas, and he pulled out like 10 days beforehand, which is annoying, which has kind of been like the story of half or more of my pro fights is I've been having guys pull out like 3 weeks beforehand.
Hey,
which
maybe
is really
they're just
frustrating.
maybe they're just scared of you, Tucker.
I don't think at this level. There's a couple on the regional, but there's also been a couple like legit injuries because it's a small scene on the DMV. But at any rate, so yeah, I felt good. I think I just, like I said, you get penalized for fighting a high IQ. So I think I just took too long in that first round to feel him out and to download him. And I think that if I would have started halfway through the first, like I started the second, there would have been a finish and we'd be talking different. But that's all.
Yeah.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda at this point.
Yeah. All learning experiences, like you said. Just got to keep getting better and keep learning from your, not mistakes, but just from your past events in fighting.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I thought the fight looked great. I thought you did a great job. You dominated the fight. Judges scored about 30-27 across the board. I thought you got robbed because that night Jimmy Flick got a contract. William Knight. I thought you got robbed. You should be fighting already on a UFC card like William Knight, in my opinion. But I'm not Dana White.
I agree.
I'm not the matchmakers. You're gonna have to prove it to him again, and hopefully you will. Hopefully you will.
For sure.
But yeah, were you surprised when Dana said you weren't getting a contract? Did you see it coming at all?
No, I wasn't surprised. I was actually I was convinced that I wasn't, just because, I was just like, man, it's just looking decision. And I just know the temperament. It's a very temperamental decision of the contract handout. And so I was like, nah, like I just had a feeling. I was relieved to be invited back because I'd probably be at work right now if I wasn't. But no, I wasn't surprised. I was kind of expecting it, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I said, I thought you deserved it. There's been a lot of fighters this Contender Series season that just kind of got snubbed, and you were definitely one of them. So you will be competing on Dana White's Contender Series again, November 17th against Sherrod Blackledge, who we had on the show a couple weeks ago. How are you preparing for this fight? Sherrod's one tough dude, and he's one skilled fighter. So, do you have any insight? Are you looking for certain techniques? I don't want to put your game plan on blast or anything. Just what can you share with us?
Right. It's just, I mean, really, I got right back to work. I took a couple days off when I got back home, like maybe 2 days. My ankle was a little swollen from kicking them. But I just think my experience and my well-roundedness, I'm just on another level than he is. And I feel like he faded in his fight. I know he said that he took off, but I think he looked tired in that third round. And he definitely is a skilled fighter. But like I said, I just feel like my experience and my well-roundedness, I'm just on another level than him. So it'll be a good win over a tough guy. But the win's gonna be mine for sure.
For sure. So is that the second week of Contender Series when it comes back?
Ooh, I don't know. I honestly haven't been paying much attention to it.
I think
Kind of
there's,
just
I think
stuck
there's,
in the trenches.
I think there's 3 to 4 weeks, and I think the first one is November 10th, and then
Yeah, so it would be, yeah.
you're November 17th. What I'm thinking. So I think you guys are the second one. Do you know what number you are on the card? Are you the main event, co-main? What do you know?
I haven't heard anything.
Okay.
I hope I'm not the first fight, though. I feel like we both
I mean,
deserve to be the main event, to be honest. I feel like we deserve to be the main event because we both have been on the show
yeah,
and both could have gotten contracts, but I
it
haven't
might
heard
be.
anything.
It
So
might be.
I
And to
feel
be
like
honest with
if
you,
we were the main, we probably would have heard it.
yeah, with Contender Series, if you're the first fight, I kind of like. I'm first fight's the one I'm watching the closest on. You know what I mean? That's the finally the nerves from the day of waiting for the fights to come on, shaking off, and then you sit down and you're fully into that. I feel like with some people, even in like actual main pay-per-view cards, I feel like the first 2 fights are usually watched a lot, and then you got the third fight where people kind of fall off. They want to get some food or something, and then people are coming back during the co-main and then the main event's where it's at. So I think the middle of the card is actually the weakest in my opinion. You know, a lot of people don't think that, but it's just a little thought I have.
It's not a bad theory, but it's probably one of those kind of, styles make fights. Probably the same thing with that,
Yeah,
because if you
exactly.
got someone dope on the middle, you're
Yeah,
gonna be watching that
exactly.
shit for
Especially
sure.
like tomorrow with Walt Harris. You know what I mean? It's the co-main, and I'm super pumped for that
Who's
one.
he fighting?
He's fighting. What's his name? Oh God, if you wouldn't have said anything. Alexander Volkov.
Okay, that's a damn good fight
Yeah,
there.
it's going to be amazing, dude. And you got Robert Whittaker versus Cannonier after that, the Killer Gorilla. And you heard
Right.
Adesanya call out Jared. He said, if you beat Robert Whittaker, you're up next. And Dana White's confirmed that. So I'm excited for that Robert Whittaker fight. I'm excited to see if Robert Whittaker wins because I know he's not going to get that title shot again against Izzy because Izzy, it wasn't a close fight. You know what I mean? And it was kind of a close
hmm
fight, but I don't think he deserves a rematch. I think he'll have to fight one more person to get that rematch. So if Jared doesn't win, I'm very excited to see who will fight Izzy beginning of next year or whenever he wants to fight. But who knows? You also got Lauren Murphy on that fight. And then Philip Hall's recent Contender Series contender. So it's a stacked card. It's gonna be a stacked card. It starts at the prelims start at 12 though tomorrow. Just to let you know.
hmm
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
And
I'm
the main
pumped for it,
event.
man. I'm excited.
Yeah, the main event. I found it out last week, and I'm glad I found it out early because I'm.
Yeah, it's weird because the Izzy Casa fight was also Fight Island, but they had that. It was at night
So
then,
this
so I don't know what
So
they're
this
doing.
is the deal. So for every fight except for the Khabib one, they all fight. The prelims start around midnight, 1 a.m. and they want to do that so it's prime time here, right?
hmm
But there was a deal with Khabib and his people or something where they won't mess with the time change because Khabib's on that time schedule. So they're just gonna keep it how it is. And I think since it's such a big fight, I think there's some higher up people in Abu Dhabi that Dana has coming, and I think they're pushing for that. It's just so they can have the people there. They want a primetime event. They want it at night. I understand it. It's not that big of a convenience for us, but technically I don't like watching UFC when the sun's out. It feels weird. You know what I
It
mean?
does feel weird.
Feels
That's what same thing when he fought Poirier last summer. It
yeah,
was like 2 o'clock. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's weird, man.
Because he also fought in
That
Abu
is
Dhabi.
odd.
That was Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same when Anderson fought Damian Maia way
Yeah,
back then. That
exactly.
was, I think, their first fights down in Abu Dhabi, and it was on like 2 o'clock or something like
Yeah.
that.
That's the prime time for them, which I'll give Khabib his respect. If he wants to fight at night his time, let him do it. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, the champ calls the shots, and
Yeah.
he's, one of the pound for pound greats. So
Yeah. And I don't think Gaethje's
absolutely.
arguing against that for a prime time spot in Abu Dhabi. I mean, we're all gonna watch it. It's not like no one's gonna miss it. I mean, so
Now they're saying that it's.
it's
I don't know
pushing.
how they predict that, but they're saying that it's supposed to have an insane amount of buy rate on it. So
Yeah.
I hope so.
I do too. I hope Justin gets his payday. He deserves it. Uh, he's one of the best fighters and most humble fighters, I think, in the UFC. I mean, I don't know if you watch Embedded at all or anything or seen the clip, but they did the pictures after the interview, press conference, and they hand Gaethje the belt, and he's like, "What do you guys do? I don't want this belt." He realized he was holding the belt and he doesn't want that. He doesn't want the interim
Right.
belt. You know what I mean? And I respect that in a fighter. Unlike people like Colby Covington and other people carrying around interim belts like they're top dog. I hate that. I absolutely hate that.
Yep.
So
I hear you, bro.
all respect to Justin Gaethje. But before I let you go, I just wanted to get a couple of your picks for the card. So for that third fight, or the co-main event, who do you have with Alexander Volkov versus Walt Harris?
I'm going Volkov. I think that
Nice.
his striking is super slick, and obviously Harris is an awesome dude, but I think Father Time is not on his side.
Yeah.
So
Only way
I'm
he
thinking
wins.
Volkov.
Yeah, only way he wins that fight if he's fixed his cardio, because as we saw with Overeem, people can argue that fight could have been stopped when he had Overeem against the cage on the ground, cut him up, but he let it all out of his gas tank, and after that, Overeem, the veteran he is, rallied, came back, and put him out. So I think if Walt can get his cardio in place, and if it is good, I think that power plus cardio is a deadly combination. But at the moment,
I'm pulling for him. I forever root for that dude. But if I had gun to my head, I'm saying Volkov probably wins it.
Yeah, and I'm still going back and forth with it. I'm going to decide after this interview when I break down the card. But yeah, I'm still back and forth with it. Who do you got for the co-main? Robert Whittaker versus the Killer Gorilla.
I think it's better for the middleweight division if Jared wins, but I think Robert's so fucking underrated, and I don't understand it. I think he's a brilliant mixed martial artist, so I think he's got it, man. And I think Vegas has him as an underdog. Last I checked, I could be wrong.
And it's funny because Robert Whittaker is like one of the only fighters out there that is the top dog, underdog, top dog, underdog.
Yeah,
he's on top of the
crazy,
sport.
Man.
He's all over the place, which is very interesting for as long as he's been around. But yeah, you can't doubt him. I mean, only reason he lost to Izzy is because Izzy's a god at this point. Like, come on.
Yeah, that dude's on then that's what because I was convinced Koosta was gonna at least do better than that, but he's just so next level. Izzy is. He's just so much better than everyone else.
He makes
no
matter how big or strong you are, Izzy makes you scared to attack, and then by that, he just chops away at you and snipes you with leg kicks. And when you get tired of it and try to come in, he's already gone. He's hit you with a 3-piece and he's out of the pocket. He's just so efficient, man.
Yeah, I was watching the fight with some rather lay people, which I typically don't, but my buddy was around, and they're like, fucking Koosta, pussy, go after him. And I think that if Koosta would have pressed him,
it'd have been over.
He probably would have gotten countered and knocked out quicker. You know what 100%. I'm saying? That's my thought.
I mean, that's technically how he got knocked out, anyways, because he was getting tired of the leg kicks. He knew he couldn't last on his feet that much longer. He went in. Adesanya hit him with that right, left into the body, and then just again with the right, and you could just see it on Costa's face. Like, he was like, "Oh shit, it's over." Like, he knew.
And the accuracy, that temple shot. People sleep on the temple shot.
God,
it's like it's all about the chin music, but like, bro, when you get hit in that temple, it fucks your day all up.
Because it's not just gonna knock you. It's not gonna knock you out. Technically, it's gonna ring your head, and then on top of that,
you got no legs either. After that, that's what Connor caught Poirier with the first fight, is that big left to the temple, and it's like you got no equilibrium after that, man.
Exactly. And if you can make it to the next round, you're still recovering from that. You know what I mean?
Yep. Oh yeah.
And he's just so, like, I know he said it, but he's so accurate. Like, it is insane. And I was watching looking forward to a fight on YouTube, like Dana, Matt Serra, and all them, and they were showing behind the scenes of them three watching the Adesanya fight, and even Matt Serra and all them were just like, damn, dude, I've never seen someone so accurate and so strong. It's beyond any fighter, I think, and I think he's only getting better.
He's one of one, and I mean, as you can see, he's on his way to be future GOAT status, really, if he keeps this shit up.
Who do you think can beat him? Because my guess is the only person that could take him out right now is Khamzat.
Honestly, I think styles make fights. I think that what's his face? That if Kelvin could mix it up with him well,
Kelvin Gastelum,
because I thought that first fight was awesome.
I mean, it's a Hall of Fame fight.
I want to say more so people have better chances than it can beat him, because it's hard to say anyone can beat him now.
Yeah,
but I also think that Jack Hermanson is an awful matchup for him too.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong about that.
I don't know if that fight would ever happen, just because I think Hermanson's fucking awesome, but he doesn't have quite that name. I think he's got a big fight coming up soon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe so.
But
trying to see.
But I'm hesitant to say it because I thought he looked awful his last fight, but I used to be the biggest Chris Weidman
Oh,
fanboy back in the day. You know
I
what I'm
love Chris
saying?
Weidman. He just called out Kamzat.
Oh, did it? Yeah, I did see that. I
Yeah.
think but style wise, if Chris Weidman is in shape, and I know Father Time is a real, he's a motherfucker. But if he can, if Chris can be in 5 round shape, I think skill set wise, that's a really really bad matchup for Izzy. But like I said, his last fight was awful, really.
Yeah.
And this is coming from a big Weidman fan too. Like he
Yeah.
fought that. I can't remember the dude's name. He was the European fella, but I don't even think that dude's top 15, and it was an awful 3 round decision.
What's his name? Let me look it up. Oh, it doesn't come up. What was the last fight he had? I know
I'm
you're
trying to
talking about.
remember.
It's gonna bother me, so I'm gonna look it up real quick. Um, yeah, it was at the Derek Lewis Olynyk fight. Omari Akhmedov.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah,
that guy.
yeah,
And I mean that guy's tough. Don't get me wrong, but it
yeah,
was more so the performance from
yeah,
Weidman of just like being gas, and
yeah.
it's like,
Oh, and
shoot,
I forgot
if you're
Weidman beat
tired.
Kelvin Gastelum. Sorry to interrupt you. I forgot about that.
Yeah, back in the day, after
Yeah.
he got dropped, Weidman got dropped hard in that first round with the overhand
Wow. I don't think I've
from.
actually ever seen that fight. He won arm triangle choke. I'm gonna go watch that on Fight Pass.
Yeah, it's a good fight because Weidman almost got knocked out like
Really?
early in the fight.
Yeah, I might have to go check that fight out. I don't think I've ever seen that fight. That's
But
interesting.
but if you look at the middleweight division, uh, and that dude comes out as an animal, but I think I'd like to see him against stiffer competition.
I mean, he was supposed
But
to fight Damian Maia, but that fell through. That was gonna be an amazing fight in my eyes. It was gonna be better than the Gerald Mershark fight, I think.
yes, yeah, but he obviously hits hard as fuck.
It's not that he
Like, and
just hits
Maya is
hard.
no
He,
striker either, so I
yeah.
think he probably would have pieced Maya up.
Well, I think the whole point of it was that I think Khamzat wanted to show his wrestling, and I think that's why he took it and he said he was gonna wrestle a lot. But I think he was just gonna come out and uppercut him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and throw some overhand rights. Fuck that. You don't want to go to the ground with him.
When he knocked out Gerald Mershaw, I
Dude,
was
that was
like,
crazy,
I
man.
was like, dude, this guy is crazy good. Like, I knew he was good from those back-to-back 10 days in between his fights at the first Fight Island. I knew he was good then, and like we were all talking about it. But like, oh, 1 second, I think we lost you. You there? 1 second. We're reconnecting with him right now. Just give it a sec. Go ahead and put on main camera for a sec. Go ahead and hang up, Andrew, and recall back the main camera. His phone might have died. Let's see what's going on with that. Just hold on for a second, everybody. Yeah, his phone might have died. There's no worries. He'll probably call back. I'll go ahead and give him a message real quick. Yeah, it says he isn't online right now. Wait, go ahead and try to call back real quick. We'll try one more time. It's probably his phone. But yeah, as we were talking about Kamzat and just how strong he is, and I honestly think he could take out Asanya. I think it could be a clean victory. But who knows? You never know when it comes to these bigger fighters uh, and the potential for them to take off or not. Hey, let's see if we can get him in here again. Let's see. If we can't get him in here, it'd be cool. I just wanted to hear his remarks going out. I just messaged him. Hey, Drew, go ahead and close Skype and reopen it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure his phone died. Go ahead and try to call one more time. Yeah, we'll get this figured out. If he doesn't make it back, it's all good. We were getting close to being done with the interview anyway, so let's see if we can get him in here. Interesting. All right, we'll just hold off for a second. I'll keep talking about the Adesanya situation. Don't exit that just yet. He'll probably call back. But yeah, like we were saying, Adesanya, I do think his only competition at the moment would be Khamzat. I think Khamzat's a freak of nature. Uh, and I think going forward, Adesanya's gonna have a lot more hefty competition. So he's gonna have to fight these bigger names. And I think the biggest name after this next fight with Jared Cannonier, if it happens, if he beats whoever Whittaker, it will be Khamzat. So I'm excited about that. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. All right. If you want to try and call one more time, go for it. Let's see what happens here. All right, no worries. You can go ahead and hang up. We'll go ahead and move on. Yeah, just go ahead and keep it open just in case he calls back, and we'll throw him back in here if he does come back. Um, but yeah, uh, so we lost connection with Tucker Lutz. No big deal. Pretty much got everything out of the way. I was just gonna ask him who he has against Khabib versus Gaethje. But thank you, Tucker Lutz, for coming on. Um, sorry for the technical difficulties. But yeah, he has a fight coming up November 17th. It'll be his second time on Contender Series. So yeah, looking forward to that. He'll be fighting Sherrard Blackledge, who we also have an interview with. So yeah, we'll get into that. 1 second. But yeah, super cool guy. Ground Control Academy. But yeah, Tucker Lutz, awesome guy. Thanks for stopping by, man. All right, getting into some news real quick. As mentioned before, Leon Edwards is possibly being removed from the UFC rankings due to inactivity. I think this is stupid. I think it's disrespectful. I think he deserves more than that. Um, just really, 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 really disappointing and disappointed in the UFC for even thinking to take him out of the rankings. So I don't really know how to react to that, but yeah, it's a little upsetting. Uh, Leon Edwards tweeted, "I'm still in the rankings. Fuck all the inactivity. The only reason I haven't fought is because all these so-called top guys turned me down. Khamzat, want to fight then?" And of course, Khamzat replies, "I'm always ready to fight. Let's go. Rock and roll, baby." Khamzat, man, he's the man. He really is the man. That dude is something else. He wants to fight anybody. Uh, yeah. So we, we, we'll we'll see what happens if they actually do take him out. I hope they don't. It should be in their best interest not to. So yeah. But moving forward, um, man, that fight card last week was insane. Brian Ortega taking the victory over the Korean Zombie. Jessica Andrade looking immaculate against Caitlin Kukagian. Jimmy Crute with a fantastic victory. James Krause coming in short notice. He's a coach. Took the dub. Unanimous. I think it was a unanimous decision of a 3-round fight. Uh, and then yeah, Jonathan Martinez, great win against Thomas Almeida. But yeah, that Brian Ortega fight versus the Korean Zombie, dude. The Korean Zombie's chin is just insane, absolutely insane. Oh, 1 second, Tucker, let's just message me back. Sorry, guys, just messaged him back. But yeah, so that Brian Ortega fight, I don't understand how the Korean Zombie's chin held up that well. I think it was absolutely incredible. He he's he lived up to his name because that spinning elbow kick, uh, just absolutely incredible. Uh, Such a wonderful fight. Uh, Brian Ortega looks sharper as ever. But yeah, it was just fantastic, 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 fantastic fight. Absolutely amazing. Looking forward to seeing them in the future. I think Tucker Lutz is going to call back. Yeah, we'll get Tucker Lutz back in here so we can finish getting the rest of his remarks. But yeah, that Brian Ortega versus Korean Zombie. I keep talking about it, but man, that was a fun fight. Andrew, I think he said he's gonna call back after he gets his charger set up. His phone just died on us. But yeah, um, very very excited for Brian Ortega. He will be fighting Alexander for the title next, confirmed by Dana White. That fight's gonna be insane. I think Brian Ortega will win that fight against Alexander. Super pumped for Brian Ortega. I hope he does. I hope he wins the title. As you guys know, I'm a huge Brian Ortega fan, and I want him to keep pushing and keep being the best that he can, because he is. He was injured, and it sucked going in. He had hand surgery. He wasn't his full self this past year, and he finally is coming back around. And I'm very happy for him. I'm very happy for Ortega. I don't know why he cut his hair. We'll just leave that at that. But he donated all of it. But he's looking sharper than ever. Hair or no hair. Like, come on, man. Y'all forgot what Ortega can do. And that's what he can do. Exactly what we just saw. 5 rounds with one of the best strikers in the UFC, the Korean Zombie. Stood in there, put work on him, and did what he had to do. And that's all it is. That is all it is. That's all she wrote. But yeah, man, it was just such an entertaining bout. So many punches were thrown. So there wasn't one dull moment in the fight. And I think if you haven't seen it, you should go back and watch it. It could be a Hall of Fame fight in my eyes. It was a fantastic fight. It showed Brian still got it. It showed Korean still got his chin. But yeah, all right. I think Tucker's calling again. Let's go ahead and get him in here. Hopefully everything's set up still. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Let's see if you're still set up. Andrew, go ahead and move the Skype call for a second. Or share the screen too. Yep. Share it with audio. At the bottom, yep. Okay, let's see if you're still in here. Go ahead and go back to the stream, Drew. Yep, we got you in here. All right. Cool. Got you back. Yeah,
Sorry about that, bro.
No, all good. Stuff happens. It's technology. But yeah. So what we were talking about the fight. You said you would take Robert Whittaker most likely, but Jared Cannonier would be best for now. For the middleweight division, and I agreed with you. Who do you got in the main event? Khabib versus Justin.
Ooh, I think I got Gaethje, man. I think that he's a live dog. I think Khabib looked real beat up on the scale this morning.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about Justin. I think he's got a good American wrestling pedigree. Apparently, in his college days, was known for his defensive wrestling. And I just thought he had a masterful performance against Tony, his last fight. So I think that I truly think he can pull it off.
Yeah. I'm so happy you said that. I mean, I love Khabib. I'm a fan of AKA, all the guys out there. But when I saw that video of Khabib's face, the sigh of relief on his face, for some reason, all of that, oh, he's gonna win, it just kind of went out of me. It's kind of like a cold rush. It was just like, is Khabib actually gonna possibly lose this fight? Because that's what it felt like at that moment. And I know that's the silliest thing to say, but there's just his demeanor just looked a little off, and Gaethje just looked a little bit better in his demeanor. And Gaethje is one strong dude, and he's hungry for it. Don't count out Khabib. Khabib's always hungry. That's one hungry dude. But Gaethje, He wants a feast right now, and he's going to get it. He's at the buffet, and he's taking everything he can get, I think. And he's going to go out there full-fledged. And people don't know this or forget, Gaethje's been wrestling his entire life. Like, people just been sleeping on that. Like, oh, yeah, he's a great striker. He hits like a truck. He also can wrestle and get Khabib to the ground, hopefully, and we might see Khabib struggle for the first time on the ground in the cage.
That would be interesting. I'd honestly be surprised if Justin goes and goes for the wrestling. That'd be awesome. It'd be awesome to see, especially if you can take him down. But I think it's more for me, what intrigues me about Justin is I think that his defensive wrestling is going to make is what makes it more of a, enticing pick as far as, especially in regards to being an underdog. But I don't know, man. He just seems so on right now, and that fight against Tony was just next level shit, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And he's an animal, man. He is a straight up killer. And even the fights before that, he's been putting dudes out.
Oh, all the time.
You watch. I thought that in the Khabib versus Poirier, I think it was the beginning of the second, Poirier opens up with some strikes that that had Khabib backing up.
Yep. It's possible, man.
I'm a huge Poirier fan.
Same.
That's my favorite fighter is Dustin Poirier.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Gaethje has more of that one punch knockout power than Dustin does.
Yeah.
So if you're getting backed up by Gaethje, I think it's a different animal. I think he's going to be putting you out rather than putting you on your heels,
We're going to see in this fight tomorrow if Khabib has a chin or not. We've never really been answered that, have gotten that answer, but we're really going to know if Khabib can roll with the punches and if he can really, because there's no way Gaethje doesn't hit him with at least 2 or 3 haymakers in this fight. There's no way he doesn't get at least 2 or 3 huge punches off. There's no way.
He's got to, man.
He's too good.
He's got to. At least one. Like I said, the Poirier fight, Khabib got caught, and what was it? Michael Johnson. That's what everyone was ranting and raving because Johnson landed like a 3 or 4 punch combo that had Khabib backing up. But sheesh, I think that Gaethje's power is just like what he did to Edson, what he did to Cowboy, James Vick, like all tough ass dudes
Cowboy
that
fight
he
was
just
something
puts
else.
to sleep, man. And it's crazy. His leg kicks and he does it weird from the clinch too. I think he's styles make fights. I know he lost to Eddie and he lost to Dustin, and I think that Dustin would beat him. But I think out of anyone in lightweight, he's got the best shot, especially after his last performance.
Yeah, that fight against Tony. We were scheduled for Khabib versus Tony Ferguson 4 or 5 times, and then unfortunately Corona hit. Khabib got stuck in Russia, and then Gaethje stepped up and did the unthinkable and massacred Ferguson's
Yeah, it
face.
wasn't even close. It was sad though.
And
I was really bummed because I was like, well, there goes
the fight that we've been
Khabib
waiting for.
versus Tony ever happening. That fight's never gonna happen.
I could see it being. Actually, no, I can't. I can't see that fight going over a Conor rematch with Khabib. I think either Khabib's gonna fight Conor again, for 30. If he wins this, I don't want to go too far ahead, but if he wins this fight in 29-0, I think Khabib will fight Conor or GSP.
Yeah, they have talked about the GSP.
I think
GSP one's weird though, man. It's like,
but if
why?
GSP comes out and beats Khabib, oh my God, he's immediately taken the best of all time status once again.
That's who I consider to be the GOAT, honestly, is GSP. I feel like he was so dominant. And everyone says Anderson, but he has failed drug tests, which I think automatically taint your legacy.
Yeah.
GSP was clean. The only asterisk behind GSP is that Johnny Hendricks probably won that fight, but GSP is my number one.
GSP is the GOAT. That's the man right there.
I think that if the only way you're getting Tony versus Khabib is if Khabib loses, really, and then they just go ahead and.
But if Khabib loses, that takes all of his draw away from him.
Not against Tony though. People want to see that shit. That fight has to happen, man.
Because I can't remember who was talking about it. They were saying if Khabib loses, would the GSP fight even be relevant at that point? Because the whole point of the GSP fight is who's the greatest of all time, Khabib or GSP. Right. So
I don't give 2 shits about that fight, honestly. It
really?
Makes no sense to me. The dude's been out.
Yeah.
The last GSP's been out for 2 years.
Yeah.
Competed at 85 last.
Yeah.
Makes no sense other than like
I mean,
it's like a dick swinging contest.
Yeah, maybe you got Nick Diaz coming back too. I mean,
I've heard that. That's awesome. I love both the Diaz brothers. I think they're awesome.
I think these fighters are tired of sitting at home. They realize, hey, I could do this for 2-3 more years. Let's do it before I can't do it. And I think that's what it really is. But GSP is not the type of guy where he's calling Dana White, I want to fight. People come to him and say, hey, we've heard that this might happen. And he says, yeah, I may entertain that. But at the moment, I'm not fully there yet. So he's not the guy saying, I'm going to come back and fight. He's just been asked and saying it could happen. So
right. And I think his team, I could be wrong, said that 55 would not be an option.
Really?
So it's like, that's the last I read on it. So it's like, so Khabib for the swan song goes up to 70 and fights GSP.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I would buy that shit for sure. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know, man.
I mean, it would be the biggest fight of pretty much almost, I wouldn't say all time, but it could be close there.
It might be, man.
Khabib, just imagine GSP walking out with his headband and his outfit. Oh my God, I don't know what I wouldn't believe it because, it's just GSP, man. I hope it happens. It'd
be weird to see like either, because both guys are so dominant wrestling. It'd be weird to see either guy pinned to the bottom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it would. You're right. It would be really weird because you wouldn't expect GSP to be on the bottom, but you don't expect Khabib to be on the bottom. So who knows? They just they just keep transitioning back and forth from half court.
Yeah, there you go. Or just it becomes like a stand-up war, which would be weird. But it's stand-up and GSP pieces them up.
Oh, my God. GSP puts him down. His kicks are just, it's GSP. Come on.
Yeah, the dexterity. But I don't know. Like, and he's a dude who, from what I understand, is like not a big, I know some people who train at TriStar periodically and is well off financially. So it's like 100% that competitive itch. You see a lot of fighters come back and I speculate a lot of them come back because they go broke. But that's not the case at all with him. So I'd be surprised if he, because he's got to be on the latter side of 35.
Yeah. Do you think that's the case 35. With Nick Diaz?
Needing money? No, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that he's pretty successful. Yeah. At least it looks with, the CBD and the cannabis world. It seems like he's always been business savvy on the side. So I don't think so. I think he probably just wants to go in there and put some hands on someone.
Yeah, I feel that. I agree with you. But yeah, I was going to break down this card. I don't know if you want to stick around and talk about some of these fights, but you can if you want. If you want to go, it's completely up to you, man.
I actually just had someone from the UFC call me that I got to hit back.
Yeah, so no worries.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I'm going to cut out. Thanks so much for having me on today.
Yeah,
really
for sure.
Appreciate it.
For sure, ladies and gentlemen. Tucker Lutz at a Ground Control MMA. Good luck in your fight. We'll have you on again soon.
Yeah, brother. Sounds good. Have a good one.
You too, man. See you.
See you.
All right, Tucker Lutz, great guy, came back to finish the interview after that technical difficulty. Yeah, super cool guy. Looking forward to his fight November 17th against Sherrard Blackledge on Dana White's Contender Series. All right, let's break down this card. Let's do it. First off, starting the night, I'm going to botch his name, but Magam... I can't do it, but it's Akalev is his last name versus Ion Kutalaba. As you heard us talk about, I don't want to get too deep into this fight because Kutabala's cornerman just tested positive for corona, and it does not look like he will be fighting. They have a replacement fighter. It's not announced yet. But I'll go ahead and break down Magomed Akalev. Sorry, I'm botching his name. It's very difficult to learn. There was no pronunciation for it. But yeah, let's roll with the punches. Akalev is currently ranked as the 11th best fighter in the light heavyweight division. He has 8 wins by knockout and 5 by decision. As for going into this fight, I really don't know anymore. We don't know who he's fighting. I can't really give a prediction for someone someone we don't know he's fighting yet. So we'll keep you guys updated. I'll tweet it out or whatever for tomorrow who's going to be replacing. But yeah, I'll have to take Akalev, I guess, because the other guy's coming in at short notice. But we'll see. We shall see. The next fight on this card is Lauren Murphy versus Lilia Shakarivo, the women's flyweight. Lauren Murphy is 13-4-0. She is currently ranked the fourth best fighter in the women's flyweight division, and she has 8 wins by knockout and 5 by decision. She's on a 3-fight winning streak at the moment. Most recently defeating Roxanne Modafferi by unanimous decision in June, which was an incredible fight. Roxanne Modafferi is someone you do not want to mess with, and she went in there and got the unanimous decision. Very, very impressive. Murphy is a well-rounded fighter. She combines good striking and solid grappling, but she doesn't really stand out in any one area. Is the one thing I have to go against her for. I was trying to remember. Sorry, there was this other fight. Yeah, I don't have the full stats for it, so I'm not gonna get too into it. But she had a great fight a couple years ago. I can't remember who it was against. But yeah, Lilia is actually a replacement fighter for Cynthia Calvillo. Lilia is coming into this fight 8-1. She's stepping into this fight on short notice. Lilia has won 3 fights in a row across 3 different overseas promotions. So not with the UFC, but with 3 different promotions. She has 3 wins by knockout, 1 by submission, and 4 by decision. The 29-year-old is making her UFC debut following a second-round knockout against Ayagul last October. With a background in freestyle wrestling, she is most comfortable on the mat, but she has shown a huge improvement in her stand-up striking. She's employing good use of her boxing, kicks, spinning back fists in her previous fight. So look for her to be on the or on the offense, and pushing this fight to stay on the feet. So exciting fight. I think she has a good chance coming in even at a late notice or replacing Cynthia Calvillo. All right, moving on. Jacob Malkoun versus Phil Halls at middleweight. Jacob Malkoun is 4-0. He'll be making his octagon debut in this matchup. Let's get it, another rookie. He is no stranger to tough times, with an ADCC Asia 2019 trials winner and has won the 2019 Pan Pacific gold medal. He also is 3-0 as a pro boxer. On his feet, Mamba, which is his nickname, is an excellent striker, always looking for a combo or to land multiple strikes. He has great grappling skills, but those are somewhat limited towards takedowns. Malkoun tends to telegraph his strikes and his takedown, which is very, very beneficial for his opponent. Jacob has 2 wins by knockout, 2 by decision, and he will be tested on all levels against Haas, I believe, and will need to showcase better wrestling if he wants to extend this fight to the later rounds. All right, Philip Halls, 8-0. We should be getting him on the show here soon. I've been talking to him on Instagram, but he's a recent Contender Series fighter. Man, on the main card already. Get it, Phil. Halls has earned a spot in the UFC due to him winning the Contender Series. He has 6 wins by knockout and 2 by submission. Megatron only has the Dana White's Contender Series fight on his UFC resume. So technically, he'll be making his debut here. In that fight, he managed to close it out in the first minutes with a knockout. Go watch it. Philip Halls, or Phil Halls, however you got to look it up, go watch that knockout in Contender Series. You will not be disappointed. He's an explosive, powerful, very athletic human being with a striking accuracy nearing 50%. He also appears to be the better wrestler here, but of course, that will be determined in the octagon. Great fight right there. One to look forward to for the night. All right, now the heavy hitters. These are the big fights of the night. 1, 2, and 3 for the knockout. Let's go. Alexander Volkov versus Walt Harris at heavyweight. Alexander Volkov is 31-8. He's currently ranked 6th in the heavyweight division. He has 20 wins by knockout, 3 by submission, and 8 by decision. 20 knockout wins. Boy, oh boy. The danger with this approach, I think, is that Volkov is typically a must-land when he does strike because it's so easy for him to get countered. But each of those exchanges carries a risk that he's going to get choked. He improves his odds by operating at such a long distance that his opponents really can't reach him. But Harris is really not that much shorter, and his reach is comparable, so he might have a little bit of trouble here. But yeah, boxing with Alexander Volkov, it's just a scary proposition. At least early on in the fight, you want to kind of hold off on him. I think Walt Harris will need to. But yeah, to win this bout, Volkov has to establish his long front kick early, I think. Harris hits extremely hard and it's quite athletic, but he has always struggled to move forward through offense. If Volkov presents an obstacle that keeps him back, I think, it will go a long way ensuring Volkov is landing and getting those hits in. He's going against Walt Harris, as I said, 13-8. Harris is currently ranked 8th best fighter in the heavyweight division. He has all 13 of his wins by knockout. Man, did Walt Harris come close to beating Alistair Overeem. Absolutely wonderful fight. It was a great first round for Walt Harris. Pretty much could have been stopped by the ref, but they kept it going. Overeem got cut up. He stood up, rallied back for the victory. No hard feelings for Walt Harris. Had a great fight. Just overall did what he needed to do, but just couldn't get the job done. I do think the fight could have been stopped when he was on top of Overeem, but they did let it go. Walt Harris fighting against a non-wrestling threat in Volkov. I think that combination is just a low risk, and I think it's going to pay off for him in the long run in this fight. I think Walt is going to be dominant, and we'll see. I'm excited for this heavyweight fight. Very, 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 very excited. All right, the co-main event of the evening. This is the one that's going to lead to the Adesanya fight. Robert Whittaker versus Jared Cannonier at middleweight. We all know who Robert Whittaker is, 22-5. Whittaker is currently ranked as the number 1 fighter in the middleweight division with 10 wins by knockout, 7 wins by decision, and 5 wins by submission. He's opposite of the Killer Gorilla. Whittaker should take a more technical kickboxing battle in this fight. Historically, Cannonier does fight well against opponents who really try to force him to the wrestling. So they get tired and he maintains his power, and it makes him pretty easy to hit. But I think Whittaker will try to keep it standing up. He's not going to get tired out. Whittaker can mix it up in occasional low energy single leg kicks. He used that. He used that well against Darren Till. But otherwise, I think the Aussie kickboxer has a lot to overcome in this fight, and this fight will not be easy for him. Jared Cannonier comes in at 13-4. He has 9 wins by knockout, 2 by submission, and 2 by decision. So, I mean, Cannonier is the big dog. He's underrated. He went from heavyweight to light heavyweight and now to middleweight, where he has dominated his last 3 fights. He moved all around. I think the Killer Gorilla is just deadly. I think he's going to come out here. He's going to do his job. He's going to pressure Whittaker. He's going to get him to the ground, and he's going to ground and pound him or put him out. I don't want to get my pick too early, but Jared Cannonier looks amazing. Looks absolutely amazing and embedded and all that. Just looks perfectly in shape. Really excited to see this fight. Really, really excited. And on to the main event of the night. Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Justin Gaethje for the undisputed title at lightweight. Khabib, 28-0. 8 wins by knockout, 10 by submission, 10 by decision. Khabib is one of the most dominant forces in MMA history. He's ranked number 2 overall, pound for pound, right behind John Jones. And there's a solid argument that he could be number 1. Very solid argument. He's 32-year-old out of Russia. Do we really need to say anything about Khabib? He's put it all on the map. Dominant, wrestler, striker. We will see some more striking from him, I think, in this fight. But absolutely dominant on the mat. One of the best wrestlers to ever step foot into the octagon. And we have the pleasure of watching him in his prime. And we will have the pleasure of watching him tomorrow. And I'm very, very excited. He will be fighting Justin Gaethje, who is 22-2. Gaethje is currently ranked the #1 contender in the world for the title. 19 wins by knockout, 1 submission, and 2 by decision. Justin Gaethje owns the most violent and financially, I don't know how to say it, but the most violent 4-fight start in the UFC history. His first 4 fights were absolutely incredible, and he has not stopped. He can strike, he can wrestle, he hits like a truck, he is accurate. Gaethje is the man. And if there's anybody that's going to beat Khabib at this time and point, I think Gaethje is the one to do it. I think he has a better chance than Conor McGregor beating Khabib, and I think he possibly will beat Khabib tomorrow. And I'm very, 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 very pumped and excited to see this fight play out, because this is one of those fights where we don't know what will happen. We'll probably find out halfway through the first round what the fight's going to go like, but even at that point, we do not know what's going to happen. Gaethje hits hard. Khabib is strong. He has an amazing grip. Will he get Gaethje to the ground? Will Gaethje get Khabib to the ground? Will Gaethje get knocked out? Will Khabib get knocked out? There's endless opportunities and possibilities in this fight, and make sure you are staying tuned for this fight. It will be insane. We're going to go back through this card and give our picks, but that fight, the main event, you can't miss it. You just can't miss it. All right, going back to the first fight of the night, both of these fighters, they recently both fought back in February, but like I said, I really can't judge this fight because Ion Cutelaba may be taken out of the fight, so I'm just not going to pick for this one because I don't know who Ankalaev will be fighting. But best of luck to him, whoever he is fighting. We shall find out later today or tomorrow. All right, next fight, Lauren Murphy versus Lilia Shakarivo. Man. This is a hard one. Both of these fighters bring a lot to the table. I think Shakarivo will be looking to make a great first impression, while Murphy is wanting to aim for a title shot. Lilia, she had a great chance to upset Murphy here, I think. But however, she would need to be the aggressor and not let Murphy control the fight, if that makes sense. But I don't think she will be able to. I got Murphy wins via decision. All right, Jacob Malkoun versus Philip Halls. In the fighters staying standing, if it does stay in the striking game, I think at first Malkoun might have the advantage because he is the more technical boxer and he can throw more precise strikes. But it all depends on if Philip Halls takes him to the ground or can land some early punches, I think. It's a great fight on paper, but I think Halls takes it via knockout. All right, next fight. Alexander Volkov versus Walt Harris. Man, this is going to be a knockout for sure. From who? Let's find out. Both of these fighters are looking to keep their sorry. What? See, this is the hard part about this fight because their stats are so close, and what they do in the fight, I feel like they have to do the opposite of what the other person's going to do, which is going to be difficult for Walt Harris because the opposite of Alexander is to take him to the ground, but Walt Harris works best on his feet, so he doesn't get tired out. Alexander needs to strike, but he can probably work best on the ground with Walt Harris. And I think that's why I just kind of got a little stumbled there because I was trying to think how to phrase that, but there's really no way to phrase that. It's just they're going to try to do the opposite of each other. And that sounds crazy, but if either one of them can get the other person in an uncomfortable situation, that person's going to win the fight. And I think Volkov is going to do that with ground and pound and I think he's going to ground and pound Walt Harris, and I think they're going to stand up, and I think Volkov will get the win via knockout after that. So very exciting. Very interesting fight to really break down and try to analyze. Yeah, I think Alexander Volkov takes that one. TKO. All right. Co-main event of the night. Wow. Let's Jared Cannonier versus Robert Whittaker. I don't even need to break it down, to be honest with you. If you go by stats, they're going to say take Whittaker by TKO, but we're not going by stats. We're going by brute strength. We're going by determination. We're going by who I think has the best chance and the best mindset to win this fight. And I think at this moment right now, it's Jared Cannonier. I think he wants to win this. I think he wants to book that out of sign it title fight as soon as possible. And I think he wants to get down and get to work. So I'm taking the Killer Gorilla, your boy, Cannonier. But yeah, it's going to be an insane fight. So don't miss that one either. These last 3 fights are going to be insane leading up to Khabib. But yeah, the main event of the evening, Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Justin Gaethje. Both of these fighters have tremendous success in their fighting resumes. Gaethje, excellent in-your-face striker. He stays on his feet majority of the time. Simply looks for a knockout every fight. However, that's got him knocked out twice, back-to-back losses, where he didn't land more strikes than the other. Khabib can do this, but not in his own style. He needs to strike. He needs to stay on his feet just a little bit to prove to people that, hey, I can go toe-to-toe with Gaethje, being as good of a striker he is. So, I don't know who to pick. I want to pick Gaethje, but I gotta go Khabib wins via submission. I want to pick Gaethje so bad. I want you to hear it first, but Khabib is so dominant. But if Gaethje does win, it will be by knockout. I just don't see him submitting Khabib. I think Khabib wins via submission. I want to see Gaethje win. I really do, deep down, but I think we're going to have to go Khabib via submission. But yeah, those fights start tomorrow, prelims. Early prelims start at 11 a.m., okay? That's 2 fights on ESPN+. Then on ESPN2, preliminary card starts at 12 p.m., okay? And then that is 4 fights, including the giant Stefan Struve versus Bam Bam. That's the prelim card. And then the main card starts at 2 p.m. on pay-per-view. And that is at the Flash Forum in Abu Dhabi Fight Island. But yeah, that's going to be an insane card. I'm so excited. I am so excited. Before we go, where's that? Let me am I messed up here? I can't find it. Oh, here we go. I want to announce a partnership with Unanimous and Ohio Sports Radio. Right now, it's on Unanimous site or on our Facebook page, but I'll post it in the description on here also. Follow the link to Redbubble to purchase a sticker supporting cancer. All proceeds will go towards that. But yeah, if you would like to help, please go to Redbubble. We'll go ahead and put the link here, or it's on Unanimous Facebook page to get that. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there for a great cause. Please help us out. Yeah, looking forward to that. And I can't really announce it anymore in here, but if you follow me on social media, you have seen we have received a sponsor. Once all the products get in and everything like that, we will be changing some overlays. We will be showing that product. There will be more sponsorship segments in the show. We're going to make it fun. We're going to make it exciting. So yeah, stay tuned to what we're doing here at Pound for Pound and Unanimous. Big things in the future. But yeah, huge fight card tomorrow. Do not miss it. Please trust me. Do not miss it. Watch it. All right. I'm Jalen Walker. I'm your host. Thanks, guys. See you next week.